just gonna need to got that on camera, so I know Shamil will have a good laugh. Fell right on my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is the day I finally decided on what type of exhaust setup I want to go with. A while back I did a video on the mid muffler delete on the Chrysler, and I liked it at the time, but I knew that I wanted a little bit more sound, so I decided to go with one of two options. So here we have the Carven exhaust. This is the R series, and I also have the TR series, and I'll take these guys out so you can kind of see what the difference is between them. When I take it to the shop, I'll make my final decision. Basically, this one is going to allow the car to be pretty much straight piped, and this is just going to add a little bit more sound to it. This one actually has fiberglass inside it, and it's going to muffle the sound, so it's not going to be as loud, but it should give that kind of deep tone that I'm looking for, because I don't want anything too crazy. So I think I'm leaning towards these. I still have one more of these that should be arriving today, and then I'm going to be taking it to the shop and making my final decision. And of course I'm going to bring you guys along with me so you can see the final outcome, and then we're going to do a rematch between my car and Shamilia's Charger, because last time she kind of blew me away, but that's all right. We're gonna get back. So in order to install these, you don't necessarily have to change the rear valance. Of course, these are just mufflers, so you can just install these as is. But besides just adding new mufflers, I'm actually going with 5-inch tips. So because of that, I'm gonna have to take this bad boy off here. As you can see, we have these built into it. We're gonna be going with the 5-inch Carven tips. And so today what I'm gonna be doing is removing this rear valance right here, and I have this one here that we're going to be installing, and this is going to allow us to put those 5-inch tips on. So should be a pretty straightforward install. You do have to remove the rear bumper, and so for tools, what we're going to need is a pry tool here. You're going to need a socket. I have a 10mm and a 7mm, and then I think we're going to need a T25 Torx bit. And let me just take you guys up under the car for a second. And so what we're looking at are some of these push pins. It's 1, 2, 3. Looks like there's another one, 4. And then there's a couple of bolts that we need to remove. And then we're going to have to go into the wheel well here. And again, a few more push pins. And then there should be a bolt down here somewhere, I believe, and then one up there. And then from there, we should just be able to kind of pull the bumper off and then get to work. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all these push pins, the bolts, and then go ahead and get the bumper off, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so the 10mm bolt that you're going to be removing is right here. I have it most of the way out, as you can see. So again, just had to remove some of the push pins up here, pull this back, and then you can access that right there. The 7mm one, I believe, is going to be down. I think I can actually feel it right here. So this should be the 7mm bolt right here that we're going to need to remove. All right, guys, so we also have some screws right here. It's going to be one of these screws on each side. So there's another one down there. Yeah, so that's going to be a 10mm nut as well that you're going to need to remove. So there's 2 of those on the bottom. All right, so we got the screws out and the push pins. So now we can pretty much just pull on this. It's hard to do this with one hand, but I think you guys pretty much get the picture here. So pretty much have it off. So I'm going to put the camera down, and once I get it off, I'll show you what you need to do. For these 2 10mm nuts down here, you don't really have to take them all the way off. You can just loosen them because the piece isn't actually a circle. It just kind of slides in there and tightens down. So you can do it that way. But as you see, I went ahead and got the bumper off here. You will need to unplug this. Once you get access to it, you'll also need to unplug your side markers before you pull the bumper all the way off. So make sure you guys go ahead and once you pry back this piece here, you're going to want to unplug those so that you don't break the cables or anything. Other than that, now I just need to start on this, and I'm going to need to remove this piece here, and then I'll be able to gain access to the diffuser. I think there's a couple of push pins. I see one right there. There's one on that side, one in the middle. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing off of here. So to get this bumper guard off, there's going to be 4 T25 Torx bits. There's one here, there's one there, and there is one right here, and the last one is right there. So you're going to pull those off. Then I think we have to pull these 2 tabs off, well, 3 tabs off right there, and then we should be able to get this piece removed. So this is actually riveted in right here, and there's a couple of more spots right there, here, here. Looks like I need to take out this one too. So we're going to go ahead and drill those out, and then we should be able to just use these clips to push it out. So I went ahead and got all the rivets drilled out. I got these clips undone, so we're just gonna have to go ahead around there and get those out. Off clip right here, the reflector, so we just pop that out like that. Good to go. And I'm just going through to make sure that I got all of the little rivets out, and it looks like I do. So now we're ready to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and clean this thing up because it's pretty dirty in there, and then we'll go ahead and install the new one. So now we're ready to put the new one back on, and it's just basically going to clip into place here. So I can show it so you see all the spots where there's clips, just tabs into place, and then we'll have to put the reflectors back in there. So working with these reflectors here, it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of modifying. So there were tabs up here, as you can see, the little spots right here and right there. Those tabs I had to break off because there's not enough room in here, but it looks like I'm going to end up having to modify this piece a little bit to widen it out some anyway, to allow this part to fit through there. So you can either break the tabs off of the reflectors, or you can just go ahead and cut this out enough to be able to allow the pins to fit in place. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but for me, I'm just going to go ahead and widen this out a little bit to allow the reflector to fit in there. So I have the reflectors in, and I went ahead and drilled some holes down in there so that once I get it mounted, I can rivet the diffuser in place to make sure it's nice and secure. So let's go ahead and put the bumper back on. I'm just going to make sure that the cables are attached, get everything plugged back in here, and then we'll get it tightened down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the rivet on both sides. I'll show you this one. Alright guys, so the diffuser is on and I like it. Looks pretty good. Of course, it's going to look better with the tips on. And speaking of the tips, they actually came in. So let me get this out of the box. All right, so these are the Carven 5-inch tips. Get it out of there. Thing is a monster. Man, they look good. They're Cerakoted, so basically ceramic coated 5-inch tips. Be getting these put on tomorrow. And let's go ahead and take a look at the exhausts as well, so I can kind of show you guys the difference between them. And this is going to give you more sound. As you can see on the inside there's no fiberglass or anything to muffle the sound really. It's just going to change the exhaust note up. The TRs, on the other hand, oh boy, this thing is heavy. As you can see, the inside there's actually fiberglass wrapped around that little cylinder there, and then you see the perforations as well. So this one is going to muffle the sound more. You're still going to get a deep rumbling sound though. You can see the difference too between the sizes of them there. So I'm still debating on which one I'm going to go with. I do have two of each obviously because there's two mufflers. But at first I was leaning towards this one, but now I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one. That's kind of my decision right now. I have a couple of hours to make my final decision anyway, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that video and see which one I end up going with, and we'll hear how she sounds once we get everything installed and how she looks. But yeah, we got the diffuser up there anyway, so now just time for the mufflers and those 5-inch tips. And I need to get a little bit of touch-up paint and some filler because I actually scuffed it up a little bit right there when I was drilling the holes out for the reflectors. Not a huge deal though, you can get that fixed up. I like the look of this one, but to be honest with you guys, I wasn't expecting to have to do as much fitment with it. I think if you get a stock OEM one, the SRT version, it'll probably be a bit easier for you to install versus this one because this is aftermarket. So, you know, you're going to have a little bit of fitment issues. And I don't know if there's a difference between the 300S Valance and just the, you know, like a 300 Touring or the non-S versions. Maybe this one was designed for a better fit on a non-S version. And that's why I had to do some fitment. Not really sure, but either way, we got it up there. So I like the look of it. Can't wait to get the tips installed. If you didn't hit that like button, go ahead and hit the like button because I hit my back on the ground. I broke my back for you guys making this video. So you can hit that like button for me. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified when we get new videos up. And if you're wondering where Shamilia's car is right now, we're going to be posting a video about that. She actually had some a little bit of trouble with her car, but we'll talk about that in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that because her car is actually in the shop right now. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.